Guys, welcome back to Full-Time Rugby, and today I'm going to have a look at 5 new rules that's being tested right now, as well as my prediction on who's going to end at the top and at the bottom of the conference. Let's go! Hi guys, and welcome back. Okay, so the 5 rules that's being tested at the moment. So South Africa is testing some, Italy, Georgia, Australia, Fiji, Italy, I think I said that. Anyway, they're testing this on school level, high school level, as well as varsity level. So there's 5 rules, and then this might come into play before the 2023 World Cup. Okay, so I'm going to start with the most interesting rule for me is the 50-22 kick rule. So this is basically when a team has got possession of the ball, but they're outside their own 22 and they kick the ball into touch indirectly in the opponent's 22, they will then receive the line out. Or if they are in their own 22 and kicks the ball indirectly into touch in the opponent's half, they will then receive the line out. I think this might make it quite interesting. It will be great to see how coaches is going to manage the back three. They're going to have to probably put the extra player at the back. If it's a backline player, there will be more gaps in the backline to run the ball, or it might be a flank or 8th man that will fall back to help cover. The second rule is the high tackle technique. Okay, so they want to change the way people tackle now to avoid concussions. They want to make it to tackle only below the waist, which I think is very difficult. Can you imagine like a lock trying to tackle a scrum off? You know, he's going to have to bend down very low. And sometimes it's just reaction to grab the guy next to you, you know. So I don't see this law being passed. I can understand why they want to do it, but it's going to be very difficult. The third one is the penalty rule. Okay, so every team will only get a certain amount of penalties. Thereafter, the guy, I think 10 will be, let's take 10 as an example. The guy concedes the 10th penalty, he will then go off with a yellow card. I think that's a good rule as well. You know, it will help with disciplining the teams. Then there's another rule 4, the yellow card rule. Yellow cards will be reviewed even if the player is on the bench while he's in the sin bin. While he's in the sin bin, that card will be reviewed to see if maybe it can turn into a red card. Obviously, if it's a red card, he might miss the next game. Okay, then the last one is also interesting. It is a goal line dropout. So let's take, for example, team after line out, go for a try, they're mauling, and then they're being held up. The team that actually held them up will get a 22-meter dropout, not the opposing team a 5-meter scrum as it is at the moment. Okay, so this is like a reward for good defense. All right, so let's see how many rules pass. You need to comment as well as which one you think will be the best. I think the 50-22 rule can make a difference in the game. I think it'll be great fun. Let's check it out. Okay guys, enough about the rules. Let's talk about predictions. I'm going to predict who's going to be at the top of the conference as well as at the bottom of the conference. So obviously it's such a mission just to decide which team I'm going to go for in every single conference. I'm going to start with the New Zealand conference. I'm still going to say Crusaders is going to take this one. I know that you're going to say, oh yeah, the Blues has got so many new players. Look, I think the Blues will probably be the most improved side of the tournament. I can't see them winning the conference though. As for the bottom team, and this pains me to say this, I'm going to go with the Hurricanes, man. The Hurricanes, very good team, obviously, but they've lost so many players after last season. They're starting this season with a lot of injuries, and I think it's going to be hard getting back into it. Okay, so I'm going with the Hurricanes there. Then the South African Conference, again, a very, very difficult decision for me personally, between the Sharks and the Stormers and the Jaguares. Those three, I'm going to have to go with the Stormers on this one. They played very well. Just looking at Super Euro Sunday, which I want to give credit to, by the way. I think it was great. I think there was a great turnout at the event. Very good. You can see the teams are comfortable for the season. Very motivated. It was great. But anyway, I have to go with the Stormers for this one. The Sharks looked like they might have won that game. But the problem is the depth. I think the Stormers got more depth. I could see when the Sharks brought on like that whole bench of theirs, not much happened. And then again, the Jaguares also, they're always very strong. You can't write them off. Okay, so Australian Conference. Australian Conference, again, very hard for me, between the Brumbies and the Waratahs. I have to go Waratahs on this one. I think they are looking very strong pre-season. You can see that the conditioning is up to standard, that guys are motivated, especially after the World Cup. I mean, all the Australian teams will be motivated after the World Cup, but I reckon the Waratahs will be the team to beat for Australia, and the team who's going to finish last in the Australian Conference, let's have a look. Sunwolves. I'm sorry, Sunwolves. I know you guys are going to beat some teams, but I still don't see it happening that you will be third or somewhere around there in the conference. Sorry, guys. Which reminds me, I never gave the team who's going to be last for South Africa. The team who's going to be last for South Africa, I think, is the Lions. The Lions, also against Super Euro Sunday, did nothing special, nothing different from last year. Last year wasn't a good season for them, but this year it doesn't look like they've changed much. They had the same game plan, everything. If you beat them last year, you're going to probably end up beating them again this year. So that's it. I think Crusaders will be the best. Hurricanes the worst. Stormers the best. Lions the worst. And Waratahs the best. Sunwolves the worst. Those are my predictions at the moment. Please comment below what you think. Also, just to give you an answer on the question of the day last week, the question was, do you prefer the Marvel jerseys to the traditional jerseys? And 75% said traditional. So I was right. Traditional is the best. Let's get rid of Marvel. If you are a big rugby supporter, I recommend subscribing right now. If you are trying to make predictions or planning on making predictions this season, I highly recommend subscribing now, because I will do all the studying so that you don't have to. Till next time, cheers.